Hello and welcome to the BBC's News at 6. Gordon Brown says he's mortified after being recorded describing a voter he'd met as a bigoted woman. His remarks were picked up without Mr Brown's knowledge as he drove away from the encounter with Gillian Duffy, a lifelong Labour voter. Mrs Duffy, a grandmother, had challenged the Prime Minister over immigration and benefits near her home in Rochdale. Here's Nick Robinson on a major embarrassment for the Labour Party as we approach the last week of the campaign.
Hello, how are you?
No.
Now come and have a talk with me. How are you getting on?
They said he wanted to meet more ordinary voters. After all, what on earth could possibly go wrong?
It's a nice area though, isn't it? It's a nice area, isn't it?
My family
Yeah.
have voted Labour all their life.
Yes, yes.
My father, even when he was in his teens, went to Free Trade Hall to sing the red flag.
Yes.
It started well enough when Mrs Gillian Duffy, a widow from Rochdale, was introduced to Gordon Brown by her local Labour candidate.
Why are you going to get us out of all this debt,
Because
Gordon?
we've got a deficit reduction plan, cut the debt by half over the next 4 years. We've got the plans, they've been set out to do it.
He seemed happy to talk, so she moved on to the subject which voters worry about and their leaders tread nervously around: immigration.
6 months.
You
Six
can't
months.
say anything about the immigrants because you're saying that but all these Eastern Europeans what are coming in, where are they flocking from?
A million people come from Europe, but 1 million people, British people, have gone into Europe. You do know there's a lot of British people staying in Europe as well.
The two parted on apparently good terms. The Prime Minister warm, attentive and concerned on camera. But now listen to what he really thought when he was in private, but still wearing his TV microphone.
It's a disaster. Well, just... Okay. Should never have put me with that woman. Whose idea was that?
I don't know, I didn't see.
It was Sue, I think. They're just ridiculous.
I'm not sure they'll go with that one.
They will go with it.
What did she say?
Oh, everything. She's just a sort of bigoted woman.
Unaware that she'd just been called a bigoted woman, Mrs Duffy was telling reporters how much she'd enjoyed their conversation.
Has Mr Brown got your vote after your talk with him?
Yes.
But minutes later, watch now as she was told the news of what he really thought about her.
I can't believe this, that he's said that. All my life I've been damn well Labour.
As Mrs Duffy wondered what on earth she'd done wrong, Gordon Brown was hearing precisely what he'd done wrong on a visit to the studios of Radio 2.
To her personally.
Someone has just handed me the tape. Let's play it and see if we can hear it.
Should never have put me with that woman. Whose idea was that?
I don't know, I didn't see.
It was Sue, I think. They're just ridiculous.
By now, at Mrs Duffy's home, she was discovering what it's like to be at the centre of a media storm and taking a phone call from the leader of the country, who just insulted her. He knew there was only one thing to do: to head to her house, to face the cameras and, yes, the microphones too, to apologise in person. For 40 long minutes, Mrs Duffy's door stayed closed, the curtains shut, those outside only able to guess what was happening inside, until a relieved-looking Gordon Brown emerged, having begged for forgiveness.
I've just been talking to Gillian. I'm mortified by what's happened. I've given her my sincere apologies. I misunderstood what she said, and she has accepted that there was a misunderstanding, and she's accepted my apology.
What a furore, what a fuss. What, to use Gordon Brown's own words, a disaster. And all because the lady in this house said what she thought to the Prime Minister, and because he was caught saying what he thought about her. Tonight she has yet to say whether his apology has been accepted. Nick Robinson, BBC News.